The second COVID wave has impacted the pace of economic recovery as seen from the GDP downgrades by RBI, global rating agencies and other global institutions. Moody's has pegged the GDP at 9.3%, which is the lowest. Given the higher fiscal deficit and higher public debt, there is now a threat of a sovereign rating downgrade if another COVID wave hit us. India currently has the lowest investment grade rating from all three major global agencies, S&P, Fitch and the Moody's. Moody's had earlier warned that the second COVID wave threatens India's long-term credit rating. How real is the threat of India's credit rating plunging to a junk status? Where are the weak spots in the economy and the financial markets? How will the foreign investors and the financial markets react in case of a negative rating action? And finally, what should the households, corporate and the government do to protect their balance sheets? Let's understand each of these issues in this video. First, the strengths of the Indian economy. Foreign exchange reserves, which acts as a first line of defense against any external shock, have crossed the $600 billion mark. The current high level of foreign exchange reserve provide protection against any depreciation in the rupee value against the US dollar. India, as the fifth largest economy in the world, with the right demographic, offers a promise for higher GDP growth in the next few decades. Unlike China, Russia and Brazil, India is a consumption-driven economy that protects India from the current geopolitical scenario and policies of trade and protectionism. But the current economic situation of India is also very challenging. Even as the government was preparing for a faster recovery, the second COVID wave, which was much more devastating, had hit us. India's largest bank, SBI, in its recent research report has said that the average duration of the third COVID wave in the worst-hit countries is 98 days, as against 108 days during the second wave. The risk from a rating downgrade comes majorly from four areas if the situation deteriorates: slowing growth, widening fiscal deficit, higher inflationary pressure, and the stressed financial services sector. India's GDP has been declining for the last 4 years. A year before the pandemic, GDP fell to a low of 4%. The size of GDP at Rs 135 lakh crore in 2021 is back to the level of 17-18 when it was Rs 131 lakh crore. This means a huge loss of production and income. GDP estimates for 2021-22 are already being revised downward by top rating agencies. RBI's projection for growth is down from 10.5% to 9.5%. The RBI's ability to pump in another liquidity bonanza like 8% of GDP in the first pandemic year 2021 is just not possible. The rising inflation is another area of concern which could derail the growth. RBI has projected a retail inflation of 5.1% for 2021-22, which is very close to the upper band of 6% set by the Parliament for the Monetary Policy Committee. The global commodity prices are also rising, which means an impact on the inflation numbers. The entire surplus liquidity environment, both globally and in the domestic market, does send a signal that at some stage in future, the inflation is going to come back with a full force. US markets is already experiencing a higher inflation and higher yields. The fiscal policy of the government is also very stretched. The current fiscal deficit at 9.3% of GDP for 2021 is one of the highest in the recent decades. Given the low growth, the 6.8% target for fiscal deficit for 2021-22 looks very challenging to achieve. The public debt to GDP has also crossed the red line mark set by the global rating agencies. At 90% of GDP, India's public debt is dangerously placed if the GDP doesn't rise faster in future. The banking sector has entered the crisis with 8% gross NPAs. Post the second wave, the real stress in banks and NBFC is hidden because of the regulatory forbearances, especially loan moratorium, government guarantees, and one-time loan restructuring. MSMEs, small businesses, and informal sector is also the hardest hit. Higher unemployment rate and over-leveraging by households is also expected to bring NPAs in the banking sector. How should the government address each of these risks to avoid a rating downgrade. Government spending is key to reviving the growth. The higher capital expenditure this year is also a step in the right direction, but you also need other enablers like the private sector participation, faster approvals, and also vaccination for our labor force. The steps like setting up of a development financial institution should be speeded up to support the projects with long gestation and infra sectors. The government is also banking on production-linked incentive scheme to revive Make in India and increase our exports. Though the fiscal deficit slippages is on account of higher expenditure to deal with the COVID situation, the new fiscal consolidation roadmap of a 4.5% deficit by 25-26 should be adhered to. Center and state governments should also take proactive steps to reduce the inflationary pressure by reducing taxes and duties and also remove the supply side bottlenecks. The NPA cleanup via bad bank shouldn't be a cosmetic exercise. Instead, all efforts should be made to restructure and resolve the bad loan in a time-bound manner. Finally, the government should also make effort to start a dialogue with rating agencies to explain its position, especially the reform agenda.